My name is Okechukwu Joshua Otazi, and I'll be continuing where we stopped the last time, friends. Alright, so if you can vividly remember the last time we talked about the if function, and I showed you how to use just the if function, but then I want to show you something a little bit more different. Alright, so we can use the if and or function. Alright, so what's the if and or function? Alright, basically the if and or function will return the value, a particular value, if one condition is met or another condition is met. Alright, so for example, in this case, we've been asked to identify the product sold through the enterprise, small business, and channel partners segment. Alright, so basically, if a product was sold through either of these three channels, friends, and want to return the product that was sold. In other words, if a product was sold through, for example, in this case, is small business, we want to return this product passio as the product in our remark. All right, so we want to identify those products that were sold through either of these three channels. All right, so if a product was sold through either of these three channels, all right, we want to return the product. All right, so a product may have been sold through this channel and not through this channel and not through this channel. In that case, the value still remains true. If it was sold through these channels and it was not sold through either of these other channels, the value still remains true. All right, so through whatever channel a product was sold, and trust me, the value, as long as one condition is met, all right, the two conditions don't have to be met for the value to return true in the or statement. All right, so we expect at least one of those conditions to be satisfied for a particular value to get returned as true. All right, so let me quickly use this example. I'll be using this second example basically to show you how the or function operates before we nest it with the if. I think that will make it a little bit more clearer. All right, so this second example, we will come back to the first example just to show you how we use the or function, and then we'll learn how to nest it with the if function. But so you'll be clear about the or function. Now, the second example is telling us to return true if a product was sold in Canada or Germany, otherwise return false. Alright, so if a product was sold in either Canada or Germany, we should return true. Otherwise, if it was sold if it was not sold through either of the channel, we should return the value false. Alright, so what we are trying to do right now is if a product was sold either in Germany or France, it doesn't have to be sold in both Germany and France. Alright, if it were sold in either of the two, alright, either one of them, the value will be true. All right, that's basically how the or function operates. All right, so once either of the condition is met, the value is going to be true. All right, quickly, let me just show you. Let's quickly solve this. So I'm going to say equal to, and I'm going to type in or function. All right, what the or function does is that it's going to return true or false. All right, so we want to check if a product was sold in Canada or Germany. So I'm going to test if this particular product, Caretara, whatever, was sold in either it was sold in maybe Canada or Germany. So I'm going to say Canada, all right, and I'm going to just put this, and then the second logical test is going to be, is the product sold in Germany? I'm going to say equals to, and I'm going to say inside quotation, I'll just say Germany, sorry, then I close my quotation. All right, so basically what I'm telling Excel is if a product was sold either in Canada or Germany, then I am expecting it to return the value true. I just close this statement. All right, so what the or function will do is that it's going to return true or false, true or false, true or false. It's going to check the entire case statement and then return true or false. In this case, I click on enter. Now it's going to tell me true because the product was sold in Canada. All right, so in this case also it's going to tell me true because the product was sold in Germany. And now in other situations you will see false and the likes. All right, so I just drag down to the end. Right now, friends, you can see that the or function is going to test this logical statement, and check if a product was sold in either Canada or Germany. And then if either of the condition is met, if this condition is met and it was not, and this one was not met, it's still going to return true. If this was met and this other condition was not met, it's still going to return true. All right, so basically that's how the or function is going to operate. All right, so coming back to this example, I think it will now be much more clearer. All right, so what we are trying to do right now is to return, this time around we are not trying to return true or false, we are trying to nest it with the if function. All right, so instead of returning true or false, return in a particular statement or a particular text. All right, by default the or function is supposed to be returning true or false. All right, so what we want to do right now is nest it with an if function and specify what it should return. So I'm going to just double tap inside this cell, and I'm going to say if. The first thing I'm going to type in is the or function. All right, then I'm going to determine the logical test. So the logical test we are trying to test is to check if a product was sold through either the enterprise, small business, or the channels partner. All right, so these are the places where we have the segments. Alright, so I'm going to click on this, alright, and I'm going to say check if this segment is equal to this over here, the enterprise segment, and then I'm going to lock this, alright, and function F4, right, and put a comma sign right at the end there, right. Then the second logical test is going to be to check if that is not satisfied, right, then the next thing you should do is to check if this particular segment is equal to this over here, all right. Then I'm going to lock the H2, right, function F4, then I put a comma sign. Now if that condition is still not met, still check if that segment is equal to this over here, and then if the condition is not met, only then should you return false. Alright, so by default, if either of these three conditions are not met, Excel is going to by default return false. You can see over here. Alright, so but if any of them of these three conditions, if any of them is met, Excel will by default return true. Alright, so basically what I want to do in Excel is that I don't want Excel to return false or true. I want to nest it. I want to make something a little bit more awesome, like a text, maybe return good or return bad or return something else, not just true and false, true and false, true and false. So I'm going to edit this, and this time around I'm going to nest it with the if function. So I come to the back here and I type in if, open up my bracket, all right, and now you can see I have a logical test already imputed inside here. So I just put a comma sign. Now the value if true, all right, now it's going to tell me if this is true, all right. In the example we just saw, now we saw it was false, but if it is true, what should I return? And now what I want it to return is to return the product, because the question is telling us to identify the product sold. All right, so I'm going to click on this over here and tell it to return the product if the value is true. But if the value is false, I don't think I want it to return anything. So I just put double quotation and I don't type anything inside. So don't return anything if the value is false. Then I close my bracket and click on enter. Now you can see over here, in the case where the value was false, it does not return anything. And as I drag down, you can see here the condition was not met over here. And if I just drag down to the end, you can see the cases where the products were sold through either of these segments. All right, so friends, that's basically how we use the if and then the or function to query our data set over here and then to return specific values. All right, so friends, you can see very easily how we use the or function and then the if function. All right, nesting the or to the if function, and these are some of the things you'll find over here in the logical statement. We can nest to if, and we're going to come to that in a short while. Alright, so friends, that's basically some of the functions we have over here. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the if and the and function, and that is going to be done in our next video. Without wasting much time, friends, I'd like you to delve into your spreadsheets and then practice what you've learned.